Hi and welcome to this tutorial where I'm going to show you how to use the Preloader widget with the Plus Addons for Elementor. With this Preloader, you'll be able to display eye-catching screen loaders and loading animations while your web page is loading in the background. And this serves an important purpose of keeping visitors engaged while your page loads. I'm Dave and I'm bringing you this guest tutorial on behalf of the Plus Addons for Elementor, and make sure to subscribe to their channel so that way you won't miss a single update. Okay, so the first thing we want to make sure is that our widget is activated, and for this we go to the Plus Settings, Plus Widget. In the search box type in Preloader. Next to our Preloader item here, there's a toggle switch. Make sure this one is enabled. Click Save. And then next we're going to go into Extra Options. Scroll down the page until you find this section here, the Preloader section. So all those three different items here are related to the Preloader. And as you can see, by default it is disabled. But if it is disabled, you can still enable it just for specific pages or posts. All you have to do basically is to type in the ID. So the ID is usually a number followed by a comma if you want to add more than one. Or if you prefer to have the Preloader enabled throughout the whole website, just simply enable it here. And then you can decide whether or not you want to load the Lottie JavaScript in Preloader. And if you want to, just enable it. And then don't forget to save. And one more step now, we're going to Performance, we're going to clear the cache. So click on Purge All Cache, click OK, and that's it, all done already. And now that our widgets are activated, we can now insert them in an Elementor page. So let's create a new section, just like that. And now we can insert our Preloader. So where is it located? If you scroll down all the elements here, you'll find all our Plus Essentials add-ons. So this is our Preloader here, or you can just type in the search box Preloader. And this is our Preloader widget again. And to insert it, simply drag and drop it. And now for our Preloader to work, we need some content on our page. So let's add some. And now back to our Preloader widget. As you can see, the content is set by default to image, but we can also select icon, text content, predefined, Lottie, custom code, shortcode, and progress. So let's discover each of these elements. But first, let me show you this feature here, backend visibility. So if you enable this, it will allow you to have a preview of what this Preloader looks like. Now, as the message says here, it will show a static Preloader area just for design purposes. So it's not the actual one, but it will give you a fair idea of what it looks like. Okay, so let's discover our first content type, which is image. And let's add an image. As always, you can select from the media library or upload a file. So maybe you want to use your logo as your Preloader. So let's select a logo here and let's insert this media. And if we enable the backend visibility, you will have a preview of where your logo will display when the page is loading. And of course, we can customize this to fit our own preferences. So we can add a background, make it bigger, etc., etc. So let's go into Style. And you can see the first option here is for our image itself. And from here, you can see that it applies to all the different options. So we have image, icon, text, etc. And then we have box. So the two ones that apply to our image is this one and the box. So let's go ahead with this. And we can change the size just by sliding this button here. So we can make it bigger if we want to. So as you can see, we're hitting a wall here because our image is 200 pixels in width. So you're not going to be able to increase the size past this size. So 200 is the maximum we can display at the moment. And then we can add a border all around it. So let's add a solid border. Let's make it 1 pixel in thickness. Let's select a color. So maybe jet black. Let's add a border radius of 25. As you can see now, all our corner edges are rounded. And we can even add a box shadow effect. So we can increase the spread a little bit, maybe like this, up to 5. And as you can see, the bottom bit and the top bit is not displaying properly. So we can maybe add a bit of a margin all around it of maybe 40 pixels, just like that. And as you can see, we have our image loader in normal mode and fill mode. So we're going to touch up on this in just a few seconds. So let's carry on now with the box. And basically here you can change the background either of the section itself or set a whole background for the whole page. So let me show you the difference between those two options. So let's add a background color. So it could be one solid color or gradient as always. So let's select just the one color for now. And let's select maybe a blue color, just like this one here. That'd be fine. And maybe let's change the opacity slightly, just like that, so we can see the content that's behind. So let's select this color, Control C for later on. So as you can see, this is a color, background color that's applied to the section itself. So if you were to change any of those settings, adding a padding of 120, for instance, it will increase the size of the background of our current section only. So let's do the same thing now. Let's remove this one. And let's go to the whole background. So now if we select classic color, one color, and let's insert our color here. And as you can see, the background color has been applied to the whole page here. And we can even add a picture if you wanted to. So let's select a picture, maybe this one here, and let's insert it. And there you go. So this is pretty nice as well, isn't it? And you have a few more options that apply to this picture here. So you can select the position as well. So at the moment is by default, but if we center, it will move slightly. So it will center it horizontally and vertically. And then you have all those different options as well. And you also have the usual attachment, repeat, and size. And finally, let me show you the best option of all, which is the loader on image. And if you enable this option, basically your image or logo will become the actual progress bar. Now let me show you how cool this is. So we go back to Style, Image, and we go into our Image Loader section here. And we have two modes here. We have the normal mode, which is when your page starts loading. And then we have the fill mode, which is when the page is fully loaded. So in normal mode, you can select the opacity. So 0.1 is almost transparent. And you can go right up to 1, which is fully opaque. And then we can even add some CSS filters. So you can add a blur, you can change the brightness, the contrast, the saturation, and even the hue. Now let's save our page and let's have a quick preview of what it looks like. And as you can see, our logo is being revealed very slowly and it works as our progress bar. Now let's discover our next option, which is icon. And you can obviously select which type of icon you want to display. So you have all this library here. So we went with the spinner for now, but you can select any of these icons basically. You could select this one if you wanted to. So let's click on this, insert. And now we can go ahead and customize our icon. So we're going to Style, we can close Image and open the icon section. And the first option is to change our size. So we can make it bigger. So maybe we'll keep it about this size, 99, maybe let's make it 100. So we can change our icon color. So let's go maybe with white for now. And let's add a background type as well. So again, you can have a solid color or gradient. So let's go with just one color for now. And let's select a black. And we are going to change the opacity slightly as well, a little bit. Now let's add some padding all around it. So let's add maybe 50 pixels. And then we can add a solid border if we wanted to. Let's make it 1 pixel or maybe 2. Let's select a color. So let's make it white. And let's add a border radius of 25 again. And we can also add a box shadow. So we can maybe have 5 pixels horizontal and 5 pixels vertical. And as you can see, it is displaying here in the background. So let's discover our next option, which is text content. And as you can see, I've changed the background color here, which will help us to visualize the finished result. And we can change the text we want to display. So instead of loading, you could have your custom text. So just like this, type in really anything you want. And we have the loader on text. So let's enable this. And when you enable this option, your text will become your actual progress bar. So let's go and customize our element here. So we're going to Style. Instead of image, we're going to text. And we have all the usual options, but we're just going to change the font size and color. So let's go with the font size first. So let's make it a little bit bigger. So maybe just about this. And let's make it a bit thicker as well. So just like that. Let's increase it maybe a little bit, a tiny bit more, just like that. And let's change the color. So let's make it white. And we're going to add a text loader color as well. So we are going to select a color that may contrast a little bit with the white one. So maybe the total opposite, so black. Now let's click update. And let's have a sneak peek. And as you can see, our text is being loaded very slowly and it works as a progress bar. So let's have a look at our next option, which is Predefined. And with Predefined, you can select among 13 different animations. So this is animation 1. This is animation 2. So they're all pretty cool looking, you know, very professional as well, as you can see. So you might want to go through each and every one of them to discover them. So let's go with animation 10 for now. And let's discover all the styling options. So we're going to Style, Close Image, going to Predefined. And as usual, you can add some padding and margin all around it. And we can select 2 different colors. So as you can see, we have red and gray at the moment. So let's go and change those colors. So let's make this one maybe a bright yellow. And let's make this second one maybe a bright green, just like this. And then let's click on Update. And let's have a preview. And as you can see, we now have our 2 different colors. And our next option is the use of Lottie Files. And for this, we are required to insert a URL. So let me show you where you can get one. So there are many options online, obviously, so you can look it up on Google. But we're going to use this one here for our tutorial, which is lottiefiles.com. And as you can see, they offer free animation. So this is this page, basically, you know. So if you wanted to insert this animation here, for instance, so just click on it. And we have all the details, and just underneath it, you can see we have the Lottie animation URL. So we just copy this, and then we paste it right here. And as you can see, we now have our cool animation here in the middle of our page as our preloader. And as always, we can change the size, so width and height, and we can change the speed. So speed being the normal speed, and then you can increase that up to make it faster if you wanted to. And then with the loop animation. So let's say if your animation is only 3 seconds, but your page load is over that, it will start all over again and play from the beginning. Let's have a look at our next option, which is custom code. And right here, you can insert any HTML code and inline CSS. So again, there are many options online, but you can just look for CSS spinners or maybe CSS tree loader and spinners. And this is one of the websites that I found. Now, a few of the popular ones are codepen.io and github.com. So let me show you how you can go about this. So click on the animation. And as you can see here, we have our HTML code and we have a CSS code here. So let's copy our HTML code first. And let's paste it right here. And now, in order to paste our CSS code, let's insert a style tag, just like this. And from here, let's copy our CSS code and let's insert it in between our style tags. And as you can see, our CSS preloader is displaying in the middle of our page. Now, if you wanted to make it bigger, there is no styling options, obviously, because this is purely CSS coding and HTML. So we have to go back to our code here and change it ourselves. So you can see with width and height, which is 48 pixels. So we can increase that if you want to, maybe to 148 and 148. And as you can see, now it is much bigger. And again, because this is custom coding, all these settings, all these changes have to be done from here. Now let's discover our next option, which is Shortcode. And right here, you can insert any Elementor shortcode. And for this, you'll have to create a new Elementor template. So basically from here, you go and click Add New, create a new template, or you can import an existing template. And once you have it created, you can see you have a shortcode. Select that shortcode, right click on it, copy. And now we can insert it here in our field, Control V. And as you can see, now it is loading our shortcode. And then finally, we have our progress options, and you can select among 6 different layouts. Now, bear in mind that in backend visibility, not all these options will be visible. So you might have to save your content and then preview it in the front end. And we have three different options here. We have a progress bar, we have a progress number, or a progress circle. So let's discover the progress bar first. So layout 1 is a progress bar, as you can see. And let's customize it. And for this, we're going to style and we're going to select progress bar. Now let's explore our options. So as you can see, we can change the width. We can change the height, make it bigger. We can add some margin. We can make it gradient colors. You can select the whole spectrum of different colors. So we're just going to go with 2 colors for now. So you can select, as you can see, with 2 shades of green. So maybe we're going to go and add a red color and maybe a bright yellow, just like this. And then we have 2 options here that apply only for layout 4 and layout 5, which are both progress bars as well. And we can add a border type. Let's add a solid border. Let's make it 2. Let's make it yellow again. So let's select the same shade of yellow. And let's add a border radius of maybe 10 or 15. And as mentioned before, not all the settings will be displayed and reflected automatically here. So for this, we'll have to click Update and have a quick preview. And as you can see, we can see our colors now and the rounded edges as well and our yellow border. And as you can see, we have also progress number and progress circle. So let's check the progress number now. And for this, we need to select another layout. So layout number 3 is a progress number layout. And with this layout, you can add a prefix and a postfix. So basically before and after. So just like that. And you can see our 2 lines of text are displaying before and after. Now let's go into style. And we're going to select progress number this time. And from here, we can change the font and font color of those 3 different items. So let's just change the progress numbers color. So let's make it maybe yellow again. There you go. And let's update. And let's have a quick preview. As you can see, we have 2 lines of text before and after. And our number is loading up from 0 up to 100 in a yellow font. And finally, let's discover the progress circle. So we go back here. And then we're going to select our layout number 6 this time, which is a circle. So let's go back to our styling options and we're going to go on to progress circle. And here we have 3 main options, which is our empty color. So this is basically our circle before it starts loading, and the fill color when you will go around and fill it up as it loads. And then we have the stroke width. So we can increase that maybe a little bit. So instead of 4, maybe let's make it a 6. And let's have a quick preview just to show you what it looks like. So this is basically how it works. And we have our percentage numbers increasing in the middle. Now here's the beauty of this widget is that you can combine more than one preloader on your page. So let's say we're going to have a layout number 1. And we can add another one or duplicate this one. So I'm just going to duplicate this. It's much easier. And then we can go in this second one here. And maybe this one, we're going to define it as being a Lottie. We have our preloader as well already. And we can change the order if you wanted to. Maybe we have the Lottie image on top and the progress bar underneath. And now we can have a quick preview of what it looks like. And as you can see, we have our 2 animations now loading together. Now let's have a look at our next option here, which is load first. And if you enable this one, basically with this, you have the option to exclude some content, which means that they will be loaded. And you can do this with your header or any custom class. And you can define the position as well, top or bottom. So let's select bottom for now. And let me show you how you can find your class. So for this, let's have a quick preview of our page here. And let's say we wanted to display the bottom footer. So simply right click on this, inspect, and then select the class name. So as you can see, here is nxt-footer-wrap. Select this, right click, copy, and we're going to paste our class here, starting with a dot. So dot, and then our class code like this. And now if we have a quick preview, as you can see, our footer is being loaded and positioned at the bottom. And you can define a Z index value. So I've selected the maximum here, which means that it will always be on top. And now let's have a look at the page transition. So from here you can select the in transition and the out transition. So the transition at the start of the loading of your page and then when your page is loaded. So the in transition will always display. It's only the out transition that's optional, so you can enable it or disable it. That's really up to you. And then we can select the effect we want to apply. So we can select among 5 different options. So we have fade, slide, triple swoosh, simple, and duo move. So let's select slide maybe. And when you select slide, you can select from which direction you want it to slide. So it could be left, right, top, or bottom. And the same applies for all the other options. You can select from which directions you want them to appear. So let's have a look at the exclude class feature. So this is an advanced developer functionality. So if you have any issue implementing this, please contact the help desk. Now to demonstrate its purpose, we are going to use a different page. And as you can see, we have 3 different buttons here. So these are linked to a table of contents. So if you click on any of these links, it will bring you to the relevant paragraph below. And our preloader, you can see we have an in transition and an out transition. And this is where it applies to our out transition only. Now, because these are clickable buttons, as you can see, these are A tags in HTML. So if I click on this one, introduction, it will bring me to the introduction. If I click on SEO friendly, it will bring me to the SEO friendly paragraph. Now I'm going to refresh this page, and as the transition is loading, you will see we won't be able to click on any of those A tags, on any of those buttons. So let's refresh our page. There you go. And as you can see now, I can click on any of those buttons. And this is where our exclude class comes into play. So if this is happening to you, you have to go into the button you want to exclude. So click on this, and then next to your link, look at the advanced settings. And right here, we're going to create a custom attribute. So this is going to be a class followed by the pipe sign and then a specific ID, a unique ID. So let's go with maybe class pipe sign exclude 123. And then we go back to our preloader. Page transition, exclude, and right here you're going to type in this code. So a not brackets dot button hyphen link hyphen wrap dot, and this is the class ID, the class name we created. So exclude 123 and then close brackets. And this is basically what the exclude class, so this advanced developer feature, is all about. And then we have our extra options. So right here basically is to define the load time. So by default, if your page takes 6 seconds to load, the animation will last for 6 seconds. Now we have a minimum time as well, and you will define a value in seconds. So let's say 5 seconds. So even if your page takes only 2 seconds to load, then the preloader will still display for 5 seconds. And then we have a maximum, which is the other way around. So let's put this maybe 5 seconds. So the maximum 5 seconds. So even if your page takes, let's say 10 seconds to load, it will only show the preloader for 5 seconds. So there you go. This is how you can implement the preloader widget on your website. And you will agree that it does add a lot of interest to your web pages. If you have any questions, please post them in the comment section below. Again, my name is Dave, and it was a real pleasure to present this tutorial on behalf of the Plus Addons for Elementor. And make sure to subscribe to their channel so you won't miss out when new videos are being uploaded. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.